going on, guys? Welcome back to the Rantin Review Pro Wrestling. And yeah, there's a lot to talk about today. AEW Dynamite had its go-home show for the AEW Revolution show coming up this weekend. And yeah, they've been teasing a big announcement from Tony Khan. A lot of people have been trying to figure out what it is for the past week or so, and what is this big thing? Is it a big signing? And he said, no, it's not a big signing. So, it wasn't going to be Cesaro or anything like that. So a lot of people were perplexed as to what this big announcement was. They kept it under wraps pretty good, and we got the reveal this night, and we, of course, got a lot of storyline points going into Revolution. But before we get to any of that, I want to remind you guys, this being YouTube, you can help out the channel by hitting that like button. It helps the YouTube algorithm. Let other wrestling fans know and other AEW fans know that I do moves like this with my hand. But no, it actually helps them know that I do videos about AEW Dynamite. So I definitely appreciate it for your help in hitting that like button. And now let's talk about the big surprise that Tony Khan had for the pro wrestling world. Given how hard it is to keep secrets in pro wrestling, I'm actually surprised that this didn't get out on a wide-scale basis way before today. But it was announced tonight on AEW Dynamite to begin the show that Tony Khan has purchased Ring of Honor. This is something that fans have been joking about for the longest time. Oh, Tony Khan should buy Impact. Tony Khan should buy Ring of Honor. And they never thought it was actually going to happen. And here we are. Tony Khan actually bought Ring of Honor from Sinclair Broadcasting. Now, I'm going to have to go look and see what the details are about this. It's actually funny because Sinclair Broadcasting is all about 20 minutes away from my house, and it's no longer the home of Ring of Honor. It is now owned by the Khans. So that's going to be curious. Ring of Honor did a lot of local shows here, but ironically enough, the next Dynamite will be held at a campus that I am quite familiar with. My old alma mater, they're having a Dynamite in May. So there's a lot to process with all of this for a lot of wrestling fans. I know there's some fans who are going to love this, some fans are going to hate this. I'm not sure where Ring of Honor is going to fit in with AEW. Is it going to become like their NXT? Are they going to hold to Ring of Honor and what Ring of Honor was doing, with it just kind of being these more, keeping the old Ring of Honor tradition of being really straight up hardcore wrestling? Not too many other frills or anything else. Kind of that indie vibe that Ring of Honor always held to as being like the top indie, even though it really wasn't an indie, but whatever. Many, many years they talked about it on the show. The first main event of the first big Ring of Honor show was between Bryan Danielson and the fallen angel Christopher Daniels, who did open up Dynamite tonight. It's been a while since we've seen Christopher Daniels on the show, but him and Bryan had a fantastic match. I enjoyed every single moment of it. It did kind of remind me in some spots like an old Ring of Honor match, but at the end it was Bryan Danielson winning the match, putting Christopher Daniels to sleep, and then afterwards talking about the tradition of the handshakes, the code of honor that was part of Ring of Honor's heritage, and he grabbed Christopher Daniels' hand to shake it. And I kind of saw, you all kind of saw this coming, that he was going to stomp the crap out of him. And Bryan Danielson then goes on, being the heel that he is now, and saying, I'm not in Ring of Honor, I'm in AEW, I'm going to stomp his head in. And he proceeded to stomp Christopher Daniels' head in. This caused a run in by Jon Moxley. Moxley and Danielson had their promo leading into their matches coming Sunday night for AEW Revolution, which I think they've gotten across the point now that we're going to see blood in that match. So, it would be funny if at this point they would have the match on Sunday and nobody bleeds, but I'm expecting blood in this match. It's a Moxley match. And so, it's going to be that violent. And Bryan Danielson has been very, very violent. His AEW incarnation is way more violent than his WWE incarnation. So, that should be a fun match, along with a lot of fun matches coming up this weekend. I do wonder, too, if the whole thing about Bryan Danielson saying, I'm not part of Ring of Honor, I'm part of AEW, if that's going to translate into anything else like an AEW Ring of Honor feud. Now, there's a lot to extrapolate from this, because even Tony Khan made a joke about, no, this is not Shane, talking about referencing when WCW was bought by WWE and Shane McMahon showed up on WCW Nitro, which I still to this day, as a person who grew up and came up in wrestling before the Monday Night Wars, during the Monday Night Wars, and then seeing the Monday Night Wars end the way that they did, that whole scene is still the most surreal thing I probably ever saw in pro wrestling. 6.5 years, and then just one day Shane McMahon is on WCW Nitro and they bought the company. And I will never forget that day. That everybody was buzzing about that the entire day. We didn't believe it happened until we saw that on TV. But this is not like that. This is a bit different. And in fact, it's a lot more like, and this, I'm going old school with this, to my early days as a wrestling fan. And Jim Crockett Promotions was buying up a lot of companies around the territory system. A lot of people think it was just Vince, but Crockett did his share of it too. One of those companies was Bill Watts' UWF in 1987. The two companies worked together for a little bit, but eventually the NWA, the Jim Crockett Promotions territory, swallowed up the UWF, and pretty soon UWF was gone. I don't think that's going to happen here. That didn't turn out to be a good thing for the UWF or for Crockett. They kind of overextended themselves. But with Tony Khan, I think as far as them getting rid of Ring of Honor, I don't think like the Ring of Honor Championship is going to disappear in a year or whatever. But I do think they're going to integrate it. It's just, again, curious, how are they going to do it? Are they going to leave Ring of Honor to be Ring of Honor? Is Ring of Honor going to get Fridays? Do they have a nationwide TV show deal, or is it still syndicated? Are they going to be on YouTube? What is going to happen with Ring of Honor? I know there's a lot of dream matches that come out of this. Jonathan Gresham versus Bryan Danielson is the very first one that jumps to mind, but there's tons of other ones on there. You got tons of talent that were associated with Ring of Honor. We already know that the Briscoes and FTR will probably be meeting up at Supercard of Honor. I think that's official or not official yet. I'm not sure. But there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of talent that's always been in Ring of Honor that's going to be now part of the AEW, New Japan, Impact Wrestling multiverse. And I think that's pretty cool. The one thing it also means is that Ring of Honor's footage, the history of all of that the legacy of all that footage that WWE wanted to get their hands on, it now appears that WWE will not get its hands on Ring of Honor's tape library, which I think is, if anything, the WWE would be concerned about this. It's that. It's not so much that Tony Khan bought Ring of Honor or that the talent's going to be going into AEW, New Japan, Impact Wrestling partnership, multiverse, but it's the fact that that is a tape library, that is content, and if there's anything we know WWE loves is content. It's content of a lot of its current wrestlers, especially guys he just re-signed, AJ Styles, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, among others, that is now in the hands of Tony Khan. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what they do with Ring of Honor over the next couple of months and next couple of years. The rest of AEW Dynamite this week was actually pretty good. It was a fun roller coaster ride of the show up and down. We had Thunder Rosa actually getting a pin in a tag team match over Britt Baker, leading into their women's championship match this weekend. In the main event, we had reDRagon and Adam Cole taking on the Dark Order with Hangman Adam Page. And pretty much Adam Cole getting the final word in, the final licks on, in a very traditional old school type of go home angle for a main event world championship match, babyface versus heel. I think we all know that Adam Page is probably going to retain the AEW championship. I think Adam Cole, as great as he is, he's got probably a 10% chance of winning, but stranger things have happened. But I think we're going to leave with Adam Page still holding on to the AEW Championship. Probably the most interesting angle of the night, however, is the angle between CM Punk and MJF following MJF's epic, masterful masterpiece of a promo last week. We were all curious as to how they were going to follow up with this week, and then CM Punk comes out and cuts a very cool promo, calls out Max, and then Max shows that he is really the devil. In fact, he calls himself the devil in this whole fiasco. Wardlow and Shawn Spears come to the ring. This leads to a big beatdown. The Diamond Ring bust open CM Punk. Punk's bleeding all over the place. These guys both wore white. You just should have kind of seen that coming in. When both of them were wearing white coming in, should have known there was probably going to be blood in this thing. But MJF viciously attacked and brutalized CM Punk. They were trying to hang him, which, this was WWE again. They would have gotten fired for that. But Darby Allin, Sting, and Sammy Guevara come and make the save for CM Punk. But this was a brilliant stroke, turning things around, getting the intensity of this feud cranked up to a level that it can't get any higher than what they've cranked it up to. And I said this on Twitter. All that CM Punk and MJF need to do now is stick the landing. If they can stick the landing and have an outstanding match this coming weekend at AEW Revolution in that dog collar match, pulling on some of these emotional strings. They've set up all of these dominoes. If they can have a great match this weekend, this is easily feud of the year. It might be feud of the last couple of years, to be honest with you. We had the Casino Tag Team Battle Royal setting up the triple threat match this weekend for the AEW Tag Team Championships. The Young Bucks managed to outlast every other. There was a lot of teams in AEW. They outlasted everybody, got themselves into the match along with reDRagon and Jurassic Express. And we saw the evolution of a lot of other angles and scenarios, Chris Jericho and Eddie Kingston. That whole thing is still coming around, but interestingly enough, Jericho is fist bumping Santana and Ortiz on the way into the show, so that's another intriguing feud going on. And I think if it wasn't for CM Punk and MJF, the whole Eddie Kingston Chris Jericho feud would be the most talked about one in the company. But that's kind of it's one of the problems, the embarrassment of too many riches, or something, however that term goes. You have so many good things that something like Kingston and Jericho, which is really, really good, and would be the highlight in any other time, is kind of overshadowed by how good MJF and CM Punk's feud is. But across the board, the AEW is set up for a very great weekend coming up. And of course, we got this Friday on Rampage. It's going to be a triple threat match for the TNT Championship. Darby Allin and Andrade El Idolo, and of course the champion, Sammy Guevara, all in a triple threat match this Friday live for a rare live edition of AEW Rampage. So they're kicking it off. They're going to have a great weekend. I can't wait to see it. And again, I want to know what you guys think about all of this stuff, especially what do you think about Tony Khan purchasing Ring of Honor? What do you think about the go-home show here, the setup for AEW Revolution, Punk, MJF, Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, the tag team title scene, the women's championship scene, everything leading into the show? Let me know. Let your voice be heard in the comment box below. Also, while you're down there, be sure to check out some of the free goodies I have for you guys down there. Free crypto, free stocks, free points from Chase Sapphire Preferred. Check out any of that stuff if you like. And until next time, I will see you guys here as we have more reviews of AEW. Of course, coming up this weekend, I'll be reviewing AEW Revolution, so stay tuned for that as well. So again, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when I do. I'll see you guys soon for more news, rumors, and commentary here on the Rantin Review Pro Wrestling. Have a good day.